Welcome back to Building a Main. The last couple of episodes we've been working towards our PVM unlocks and so far have ticked off overloads and curses. In this episode we're going for the last of the trinity, ancient invention, which means we need to get 85 invention. I probably sound like a broken record at this point saying that the plan is Slayer, but this time we're executing on that plan. But first, we need to get a few nice abilities unlocked, starting with Sunshine and Death Swiftness from the World Wakes. Before we dive into this episode, I want to once again say a massive thank you to everyone for the support you've shown so far. After only 10 episodes on the channel, we've surpassed 1,200 subscribers, and the support you've all given is more than I could have ever hoped for. In return, I'm going to put my all into making the rest of the series the best that I can, and continuing that trend into future content. But without further ado, let's dive straight in. This section has killed so many hardcores, and I'm really praying it doesn't now kill me now that I stopped to turn the recorder on. Okay, we're all good. And that is the World Wakes completed, which brings Gielinor into the 6th age. So we'll rub the prayer lamp and the Slayer lamp. Gets us up to 80 Slayer. I'm assuming this won't let me put it into anything that isn't combat related. So I'm just going to put it into summoning. And then for the ancient lamps, which are 100k each, one of them is going in summoning. These all have to go in different skills. On an Iron Man, they'd normally go into Herblore and Prayer, but those aren't difficult skills on a main. So I am going to put one into Agility, because I really want to get up to 85 Agility to start unlocking Double Surge. Or maybe Woodcutting, because Woodcutting is quite slow. Yeah, let's just go with Woodcutting, that's quite slow. Most importantly, we unlock Sunshine and Death's Swiftness, which are ultimates for range and magic. They give you a bigger damage buff for 30 seconds when you use them. We can't use them till we hit 85 magic and range, but that's not going to be that far off at all. As you can probably hear, my live clips are now over to using my new microphone instead of my old one. Unfortunately, my recording settings were pretty terrible at the start, so some of the audio is just really not worth using, so there's going to be a bit more post-commentary while we figure out the kinks. The other abilities I wanted to get my hands on were the Corruption Shot and Corruption Blast abilities. These are dots for range and magic that spread between enemies when you use them. This is pretty much the AoE for Slayer other than stuff like Dragon's Breath, so very useful to get now. Unfortunately at the time they were very expensive, so I just put some offers in the GE, went and did a Water Fiends task, and then picked them up when they eventually bought. It took a while, but it's worth doing that instead of paying the massive markups for insta-buys. So with all the pieces finally in place, it's time to get to the Slayer grind. And since most of my live audio is completely scuffed, I'm just gonna hit that montage. While doing a Daggannoth task, I got a bit bored just killing Rex over and over again, so I went and picked up a Zarite bow, and using that, Vanquish, and the Sun Spear, I decided to start killing all 3 of them, in hopes of getting the much more expensive Archer's Rings and Seer's Rings. Unfortunately, this didn't work out, I just got a bunch of Zerka Rings and Dragon Hatchets, but can't complain about Zerka Rings. But something funny did happen on this task, which I'm just going to let play out in live. Of course, the next drop after that is an Archer Helm, just to bait me. So I have no idea how this can happen, but I just dragged this Archer Helm over to my Alk icon, or my coin pouch icon to Alk it. And when I let go, I accidentally clicked again, and it equipped it and Alked my Slayer Helm for 400 GP. Turns out this was an issue my mouse had with double clicking, and what actually happened is I clicked to equip the archer helm and dragged my slayer helm into the coin pouch. So I fixed that, and hopefully that's not going to happen again. But with all of that out of the way, let's get back to Slayer. And what better way to get back to some Slayer than going to God War's dungeon and killing some krill with a Greater Demons task. This basically sums up our plan for getting 99 magic. We're just going to do every Greater Demon task at krill because the drops are really good and the XP is 5 to 600k an hour, so it's nothing to scoff at. But before we headed to krill, I chucked Venom Blood on my armor. This saves us a bunch of inventory space by not requiring us to take anti-poisons.
I'm going to be picking up the Vampirism aura here. We're so far off of Maniacal and Reckless that it doesn't make sense to save up for those. And Vampirism is really useful for farming the God Wars 1 bosses. You just combine it with Soul Split and you can pretty much stay indefinitely.
So Dazami task took us 2 trips in total. And we ended up getting a hilt, a ward, a spear, another hilt, and a pair of gloves, which for 2 hours is quite a bit of cash. We also hit 85 magic during this task, which means we're now able to use Sunshine without boosting. So I didn't realize in our Dust Devils task just now that we actually got the Morty pet, which is the Constitution or hit points pet. That's our second pet, I believe. So I thought that using the Spring Cleaner to alch stuff would be a bad investment. But I forgot it doesn't use nature runes when it's doing it. Springs are actually cheaper than nature runes, so it's actually more efficient to use the Spring Cleaner than manually alch stuff. We're back at Ivan, which can only mean one thing. Another disassemble of the Sun Spear for 52 Invention. We've got a big level coming in of 85 Slayer, which gives us Abyssal Demons, which would be good if the whip was still good. I don't know if they added the wand and all to the Abyssal Demon drop table or if it's later Abyssal creatures. But more importantly, we've unlocked Morvran in Prifddinas as a Slayer Master once we hit 120 combat. We're already up to 118. Unfortunately, 120 unlocks a bunch more difficult Reapers, so we're going to start seeing stuff like Araxor, etc. after 120, I believe. Kind of looking forward to jumping back into Araxor. I haven't done it since I last played on my Iron Man, so it's going to be a bit challenging, but we've got that to look forward to when we hit 120. If that isn't a sign of great luck, I don't know what is. We just got Primus as our first Keystone drop, and the reason why this is good luck is because Primus is 600k, while most of the others are like 150k a key. I don't know if the end of the previous clip caught it, but we just got a second Primus key. So, yeah, our Ascension luck is looking pretty good so far. Okay, we've got some GE pickups to do. Some of our Earth Battle Staves sold, so we get a quick 30 mil there. I cancelled them and re-put them up because I was checking the current trading price, and I'm still sticking them at 7,400. They'll sell. And Wand of the Cyware Elders. I'm just going to immediately augment this. So this is going to be our magic weapon of choice for quite a long time. It has tier 90 accuracy, which is huge. Only tier 80 damage, but the accuracy more than makes up for it. So combined with the Virtus Book, we now have tier 90 accuracy and tier 80 damage in our magic setup. Welcome to the heart of Gielinor. First things first, we need to donate all of our anima crystals to the Zaros faction to gain 550 reputation per crystal. Okay, now we've donated all 6 of them. We have Villajankin components and a 50% increased drop rate from Vindicta. So the main benefits we want here are reduced kill count and increased drop chance by 100%. We need another 1,700 reputation, and the way we get reputation is by doing bounties. So we get a bounty for Zaros, and we get assigned to kill a different faction. for them. So I need to go kill Seren followers in order to get reputation with Zaros. So that's what I'm going to be doing for a while. And that's kind of why I wanted tier 90, because these guys are high level and it doesn't always spawn people weak to magic. So your hit chance is terrible. And Death to the Dogashan is complete, which the main reason I did this is because we now have access to Goblin technology. Okay, so in Dogesh Khan, there is Oldak, and he allows you to specialize into Goblin technology for Invention. You can specialize into both Goblin and Dwarvish over time. Goblin is useful because it gives you access to mechanized Chinchompers, which are more powerful than Carnivorous Chinchompers or Red Chins, and great for AoE range training, or in general, any ranged AoE scenario. So we're going to be working towards unlocking those. I thought it was supposed to show up in chat when it unlocks, but we just got the Devotion ability, and we got Sacrifice at the same time, so it seems like those two kind of drop together. But yeah, this took a good while. I've been just killing mobs here for, well, in various parts of the dungeon, trying to find a good farming spot, and yeah, this took about an hour. It would have been just as quick to get it through the Anima Islands, but we would have not got Sacrifice, so I guess this worked out in the end. Okay, this is our setup for doing Vindicta. We have Blood Amulet, we've got tier 90 accuracy, tier 80 damage. We're going to be using the Syra book, and we have a tier 70 shield. I grabbed the Dragonfire Award way back when I was doing Slayer because I had a Wyvern task, and yeah, turns out it's tier 70, so we'll be using that for Resonance. And the reason why Resonance and Devotion are so important here is because she primarily attacks with melee, but she has some special attacks that just absolutely chunk. And resonancing them gives you a ton of health back, or you have to Devotion and pray. Okay, first kill down, and wow, I am rusty. So I took all my thresholds and everything off of Revolution, and just focusing on dealing with the specials properly, my DPS was basically terrible. We were also splashing a lot, so I'm going to quickly upgrade the Supreme Magic Accuracy Aura one more time and use that. Okay, that's our first Vindicta Reaper done. We got a bunch of Dragon Bones, some Raw Sharks, some Dragon Stones. So, mostly the Dragon Bones are the good drop, but they're pretty common, so you get those relatively often, and, of course, Stone Spirits. So let's grab another task, and maybe we get the back-to-back. Arch-Glacor. I'm assuming I can just go kill him in normal mode 4 times. So yeah, I'll do that. Okay, yeah, you can literally just do 0 mechanic kills and get this Reaper done. This is possibly one of the better Reapers. I don't know how common these manuscript drops are off of 0 mechanic Glacor, but that's 150k every time one drops. That's pretty good. Okay, it's time to spend some of our beans on the Cedarside and the Cedarside Collector upgrade. So this is very useful because, like the Charming Input Bone Crusher, this automatically deals with seeds for us that are on the ground. And what we can do is we can just toggle it to destroy cheap seeds and pick up expensive seeds. We are now unlocking Mechanized Chinchompers, so I need to go pick up 200 red chins real quick. I had just assumed that Mechanized Chinchompers would be untradeable. And given how many components it takes to make them, it's actually quite a bit cheaper to buy them, even at nearly 6k a pop. So mech chins need an offhand to be used effectively, and the best one I can think of right now is the Chaotic Crossbow, which needs us to get 80 Dungeoneering. Okay, so I just picked up a Crystal Weapon Seed and made an offhand Crystal Chakram. Cost about 100k for the seed and some harmonic dust, which we just get by AFKing on harps for crafting XP anyway. So not quite as good as the chaotic crossbow, but for at least being able to use the mech chins, it'll do. By reaching 60 Invention, we unlock the Invention machines, notably the Auto Disassembler. This turns Kingdom of Miscellanea from a nice little passive moneymaker to something that's going to just fund us a bunch of simple components. We throw maple logs in the Auto Disassembler and get simple components out. Simple as that. Just hit a nice milestone level of 90 magic. Unfortunately, all the tier 90 weapons are way out of our price range for now, so not going to get an upgrade off that, but closing in on 99 quicker than expected. Just got another item for our collection log, which is the Boots of Subjugation. Okay, that's a big drop. That is 1 garb of subjugation, which is a 6.5 mil drop. So we got over 120 combat during our Zemi trips, and that means we now get tasks from Morvran. And no, his special assignment is very much not worth. Oh my, 285 creatures. That's a lot of Zami. We're doing that. It's like 150 Zami KC or something. But yeah, don't come to Morvran with an aggro pot running because these elves will absolutely ruin you. Time to take advantage of extreme invention potions. We can drink one and gain a 17 level boost, and then research all of the things up to level 79, including all the way up to junk chance and charge drain reduction 5. And even once we lose the level, we'll keep those, as well as getting all the XP for researching these to their max. Okay, we're over halfway through our second trip, almost done with our greatest task. I actually surprisingly got this done in just 2 trips, so our kill speed is definitely improved. But we just got the Hood of Subjugation, which is a nice 2 mil drop. Again, not one of the augmentable pieces, so a bit cheaper, but still really good drop. Okay, it's time for some huge Invention XP. So we've been doing so much krill that our gown and garb both level 12, so we can siphon those for the same XP as if we disassembled at level 10. So that gives us 900k XP. And we get to disassemble our Sunspear and get all the way to 68 Invention, which means we can now make the auto screener. Okay, so we're over at the Dungeoneering shop, and we're now going to pick up our offhand chaotic crossbow to go with our mech chins. Okay, no way, we just got the Gloves of Subjugation 1 kill, and then back to back into the Severed Hoof, which is the krill pet. The pet at 380 kill count? That's insane. Okay, we're just finishing up a task of shadow creatures, and these don't seem to be too bad a task. Killing these manifest shadow, they give like 1000 XP each, and 150 of them took like 20 minutes. Okay, we have completed all the requirements for the associate qualification, which is a really big one for archaeology. We can go to associate and pick up the auto screener blueprint. Admittedly, I bought some chronotes to just get this immediately, but we'll end up making those back and just sell some later if we need to. Okay, variable components are a nightmare to get. I recommend Haralandatar, that's the best thing I was able to find, but now that we've got that out the way, we can make our auto screener, which is thankfully the only use for variable components. But yep, this will automatically screen all soil. Yeah, that makes archaeology so much better. I don't know what my luck is with Slayer tasks. I just keep seeming to get mage tasks. So we've gone from gargoyles to shadow creatures to greater demons, which we're obviously going to do a couple trips at Krill for. And yeah, I'm going to end up with 99 magic pretty quickly if this keeps up. Okay, that is our first Zemi trip of this task done. We got up to 90 Slayer, which gets us a ton of stuff. Gets us another Ports Adventurer, gets us a new Slayer Master, unlocks Dark Beast Nedemu, and Dinosaurs, which is very important because now we can go camp these for totem pieces. And we can make the Slayer Lodge Tier 3 in the Anachronia base camp when we eventually get the drop for that. There's no way 4 undead components came from scavenging, but there's a very low chance to get undead components from the Sun Spear. And since it's leveled up above 9, we get 4 times components. So I must have got undead components one of the times I just assembled the Sun Spear and just not realized. But that's insanely good luck, because we're going to need these later on, either for perks or to make equipment separators, which allow you to take perks out of a weapon without destroying either. Okay, just got finished doing another session with extreme invention potions and got all the way up to 77 invention. So we've basically discovered everything up to 94 at this point, which means we've kind of borrowed a lot of experience from the future. But given our big goal is getting to 85, this got us a huge step towards that. Okay, we're going to go with the corrupted creatures. I'm just hoping that it's not still a heavily botted area, because if so, that's going to be quite difficult to get a world. Okay, there we go. Turns out it's 4,000 dust, not 1,000, so I'm going to have to do twice as many harps as I thought. And I also just upgraded one that wasn't on my tool belt because she didn't seem to offer the ability to take it off my tool belt. I'm assuming that was an invention thing, so you could augment stuff. But I specifically want this out of my tool belt so I can augment it. I'm actually kind of shocked. The first world I showed up to, and there's just absolutely no one here. So, yeah, nice task. And, okay, admittedly, I assumed these were aggressive, so I didn't bring aggro pots. But it's fine if they aren't, because I don't need to run around after loot or anything, so I can just kill them at range. And okay, getting an Abyssal Demon task just reminded me that the Masutas War Spear is a 2 mil halberd upgrade, and it's tier 82. So it does more damage than a lance if it's 100% accurate. It's not quite as safe, but it's also 150 times cheaper. Okay, it's time to start the Shattered Worlds grind. I have 2 abilities I need to purchase from here. The Bladed Dive ability for 63 mil, and Salt the Wound for another 63 mil. I have not bothered to unlock Salt the Wound before, and as far as I remember it, Bladed Dive has always taken me like 3 hours. So this is probably going to take about 6-7 hours to get both abilities. Hopefully the mech chins speed this up quite a bit. Okay, we have completed the first leg of this grind. I ended up doing floor 66 to 70 mostly. That was the one that I could most consistently get 3-minute worlds in, so I'd get skips. We now have Bladed Dive. I'm going to come back later for Salt the Wound. I don't have it in me to do more of this. Getting triple negative power options is just demoralizing. Some of them are absolutely miserable, and for some reason they seem to have nerfed Feeling Pumped, despite that being basically the only good positive affix here. So like now there's just not a good positive affix to really take, apart from maybe Vampiric if you're running low on supplies. So that's kind of unfortunate. Kinda wish I'd thought to do this earlier, but I just made a Demon Slayer perk. This is literally 100% chance, so I should have done this when 600 odd krill kills ago, but I'll just chuck this into here. I'm going to end up replacing the perks on this anyway, so the fact that it's double mobile is just more amusing than anything else. Okay, we have reached 82 Invention, which means we can now boost all the way to 99 and discover the rest of the blueprints or projects, devices, invention things up all the way up to 99. If my math is correct, this should get us to 85. Okay, we've researched everything, and that got us to 85 Invention, which means we can now use the Ancient Gizmos blueprint. So I'm going to go and pick that up. So now we're up to 85 Invention and 92 Slayer. Let's take a look at the loot tab. Pretty good overall, I'd say. There's plenty of different stuff in here. We've got a lot of variety on the way. And thanks to getting so many mage tasks, we're almost up to 99 mage. But the big items add up to about 65 mil. And to be honest, we probably got a lot more than that because this doesn't have all the raw GP, all the runes. So we definitely made enough to fund our next ranged upgrade. But for now, we're going to wrap things up by studying the Ancient Gizmos blueprint to unlock Ancient Invention, the last of our trinity, unlocked in a mammoth episode. So I hope you all enjoyed the bumper episode, and if you did, you know what to do. And I hope to see you all again next time when we put Ancient Invention straight to some great use.